Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I've got another shaping video for you. I've got two exercises in this one. So here I am shaping Wrigley to put all four paws up on this tiny stool here. And then in a couple minutes I have her backing up onto a mat. So two different exercises you can work on with your dogs. This first one was a lot of fun to film and to work on. Wrigley has a lot of initial training with platforms and platform work where she will put her two front paws up on this stool and she will put all four paws up on a bigger platform than this, but I've never asked her to put all four paws on a tiny stool like this. So it was definitely a good challenge for her, and I want to kind of show you guys what I did to guide her through that. So like other shaping things that we start with engagement with the object. If you have not seen my past shaping videos, I would recommend going watching those first. This shaping exercise, I had a good idea that Wrigley had an understanding of what I wanted from her. So what I immediately started jumping into was clicking for movement of her back feet. She needed to position herself straight on the stool to be able to more easily put her back paws up on it. However, this also involved a lot of confidence training for Wrigley, so you're going to see me click and treat her for maintaining those two front paws and making little adjustments here and there with them on that stool to make her feel more confident about it. I added her dog bed in front here because I had a feeling that she was a little bit concerned about falling off of the stool forwards, and you're actually going to see me quickly adjust my positioning as well. I got down to her level. I found that this was a much easier way to treat her at a closer distance. I could see her back feet much better, and she felt a lot more confident in this position from where I was treating her.
Good, yeah, good girl, good job.
This is not the final behavior, but it was the first time that Wrigley actually had the confidence to lift her back feet and place them on the stool, and I wanted to highly reward that. That's what I'm looking for her to do, obviously with keeping those front feet there too, but that will come in time as she builds more and more confidence with it. Now, I did wait her out for a long period of time there. Wrigley, rule of thumb with her, if she's looking at me, then she's thinking, and she's still in the process of kind of working her way through it. She tends to take a little bit longer to do different things compared to some dogs. If this were any other dog, I would have reset them. I would not wait more than 5 or 10 seconds for them to offer a behavior. I would have tossed a treat off of that stool for them to reset for the next repetition. But just kind of watch your dog, know your dog for when you see them actually really struggling with things and when they're actually trying to work through something. Again, rule of thumb, if they're looking at you, they're thinking, try to wait them out and see if they can come up with a final answer for that thought. Remember when working on this too to keep in mind your dog's frustration levels. Here I decided to end this session very shortly after this. I was seeing a lot of stress signals from Wrigley, and to the point where she wasn't as willing to move her back feet as much. I could just see that stress growing in her, the excessive panting that I'm seeing here, the lack of the back feet movement, little facial muscles, kind of pupils dilated, like little things that you can't see from this angle, but I could tell because I was right up close to her that I was just seeing that frustration build. So if you're seeing things like that in your dog, that they're really struggling and having a hard time with this, end the session. Come back another time and and try it again. It's not something that we want our dogs to be frustrated about. This is supposed to be, you know, a fun exercise that we can go through with them. So remembering when is an appropriate time to end a training session is also very important in training. So you guys are going to see me end the session right here. Wrigley kind of tapped out right there and that's absolutely fine. I came back the next day and you guys are actually going to see a huge difference in progress in Wrigley on this day here. This is literally the very next day, and I decided to bring the stool back out, fully expecting that she was going to need some time to kind of acclimate to it again. I'm taking that first step, a brand new day of just clicking and treating her for putting her front paws on it, and I'm quickly advancing to that back foot movement, her positioning herself. And you see here, she is already willing to lift a singular foot onto that platform, and she advances very quickly with it. And this was in a matter of a couple minutes that I was able to get this behavior from her. She was feeling much more confident on this day. So making sure that you're really reading your dog, ending the training session when you are ready to end it, your dog is ready to end it, and coming back another time, and hey, guess what? We got the behavior this day. So you guys, this is the final behavior. Wrigley standing up on the stool. She is awkwardly sitting on the stool right there. It actually is more challenging for her to stand with all four paws on it instead of sitting. Sitting is much easier. So you're actually going to see me encourage her to try to stand up on the stool instead of sitting. But, you know, sitting on the stool, that's a cute thing too. So whatever you guys want to go for at home, this is the final behavior. I hope you guys have fun with it, and we're going to jump into our next routine, which is teaching your dog to back up onto the platform. Okay, so shaping your dog to back up. Back up is just a fun trick that you can teach your dog. It can be really practical behavior if you are coming in the house with a handful of groceries and your dog is right there. You want to not trip over them. You can literally cue them to back up. This is how I like to go about teaching this behavior. It's a little bit of a mixture between capturing and shaping. Capturing being I am intentionally putting the treats in between my legs to force Wrigley to back up to see me again for the next repetition. That is kind of a capturing behavior. You are going to see the awkwardness of Wrigley here. She was not backing up straight. If I were to refilm this, I would have put barriers on either side where my feet are pointed out. Something like boxes or chairs even. You can use the side of your couch and a couple chairs on the other side. Something to just point your dog in the right direction when you're trying to get them to back up straight. I have that awkward dog that was not backing up straight, but I wanted to keep this in here to kind of show you guys how I worked through it. Now, the purpose of the mat being on the ground, that's actually one of those cooling mats, so it had definitely a different feeling to it. Wrigley could literally feel the cool under her feet when she would step on it. Having your dog back up onto a different surface is really going to help with this routine. It's kind of a targeting exercise. So right now I am just capturing that behavior of when she moves her back feet, that's when I'm clicking. Eventually though, I'm going to start clicking for when she actually touches the mat. I wanted to show you guys here, this is also a good setup to start with, something that's a little bit elevated off of the ground to make it super obvious that it's when you step on this item, this thing, that is earning you the click and the treat. So it took a couple repetitions initially. Wrigley was trying to avoid stepping on the bed. So almost setting yourself up to where you put the treat in between your legs and your dog is going, when they back up, they're going to accidentally run into that bed. Then you get that click and treat. And then they're like, oh, cool. Okay, so they want me to touch the bed behind me. So good setup to start with. And then here, this was the next day, I took the bed out. At this point, I am starting to only click and treat Wrigley for when she backs up and touches that mat with her paws. She is here much more intentionally starting to maneuver her back legs. You can kind of see her feeling out for that mat behind her. She kind of takes that extra large step with her back feet, kind of a funny behavior, but it's a very intentional step. She's trying to really make contact with that target, which is exactly what I want. And then eventually you can start moving further and further away from the mat like I'm doing right here. However, you're going to see her struggle with this. She goes back to that sideways movement. In order to keep the behavior, I decided to click because she was technically still backing up, but I made an adjustment. I moved myself closer to the mat to make it easier for her, and I got the behavior back at that point. So you can definitely choose at different points in your training whether to wait your dog out or to reset them, but in this case, this was what I chose to do, and I got the behavior back. So definitely something that is fun to work on with your dog. You can put it on cue. Just say the cue as your dog is about to back up, and there you go. That's what I have for you guys. I hope you have fun with this, and I'll see you soon. Happy training.